Health, Beauty, and More. And there's been a lot of people talking about the chemtrails and their ill health effects from it. Among some of the causes are respiratory problems, acute respiratory distress, chronic fatigue, flu-like symptoms, chronic headaches and allergies, fibromyalgia, chronic pain, mental and emotional problems, immune system depletion, mysterious, debilitating, and uncurable health problems. They'll go into the doctors and they won't be able to find out what is the issue. They'll tell them it's all in their heads, etc. You know, you've heard the stories. But there's a lot of detoxifiers that are herbal that can help you while this is going on and at least give you some strength back and help you deal with some of these symptoms. And among them, there's several that you can look up online, but MSM Sulfur, the organic type, is one that's a good detoxer. Cinnamon's a good one. The spice called the Indian spice that I use, hold on a second. You've heard of that as a detoxifier. Dr. Schultz Formula number 1 is a good one to use for bowel detoxifying. And there are other ones as well, and I'm going to find out. I think ginger root's a really good one to help you too with a lot of toxins in your body. And there's an antioxidant called L-glutathione. It's also an anti-inflammatory agent, and that one's good. If you're having fibromyalgia symptoms, allergies, there's nettle, stinging nettle. And if you're having chronic fatigue symptoms, quercitin, Quercitin, is a real good one too. But there's numerous things that you can do for toxins. Charcoal, activated charcoal is one that I wanted to mention. That's really good as long as you don't use it all the time. Chemtrails, as we know it, are slow killing, and they inevitably have heavy metals in them like arsenic and lead and mercury that are poisonous to our bodies, and everything that we inhale is going to have some of these heavy metals, like you know about the aluminum and the barium, probably you've heard of, and strontium, some of these that are very harmful for our bodies, and in time they're going to catch up with you, including manganese. Manganese is another one that's not good in excess, and we don't need all that in our body, but it's these metals are absorbable into our body, and our body tries to deal with them as best it can, but once it reaches the saturation point, it's really hard for the body to maintain a balance. So we need to find ways to compensate for that imbalance, and that's why I'm talking about these poisons that we are getting. And in our soil, you know, the foods that we're eating are poisoned by these chemtrails because all these things go into the soil and our water system as well. So we need to really watch out what we're for what we're getting into our body, and listen to our bodies. A lot of things like aluminum are really potentially acidifying our system, and we really don't function well with too acidic a body. So we have to find ways to turn that around, and watch our diet and make sure that we don't spend too much time outdoors when there's heavy spraying. Chemtrails are the largest source of aluminum exposure, and the number of people with diseases associated with aluminum have risen, like Alzheimer's and autism possibly is another one. A lot of things are absorbed in the brain barrier, and once it gets through that, it's game over. I mean, it's really too bad, but it can affect our entire body, including our heart and kidneys. So we really have to be careful and try to not absorb all these things like mercury and aluminum that are coming at us, and we have no way to avoid being in contact with. So all we can do is try to minimize our contact with these elements that are coming at us, and that the government is paying for us to, and we're, as taxpayers, are probably paying for a lot of it too, to implement these patents that go way back with the military to control the weather. And the repercussions are that we're the guinea pigs, and we're getting to see that more and more. People are coming out of the woodwork and getting their heads out of the sand, and understanding that all this stuff, these heavy metals, lead is another one, they get into the gray matter of our brains and eventually affect our kidneys and our organs, our liver, our spleen, and do major, major damage. And especially the young and the old, the babies and the older people, they have less immunity, and their body is not as fully equipped to function well under the circumstances. So the chances of a pregnant mother having a child with damaged limbs or mental disorders or disabilities is increased because of all these experimental programs going on, leading to us breathing in, inhaling these horrible toxic metals. Even the imbalances of having iron in the body means too little or too much can really lead to Alzheimer's disease as well. Iron deficiency overload is a heavy metal nutrient disorder. So there's so many things. Manganese, if too much of it creates madness and violent, antisocial behavior that can end in impulsive acts of murder. And about the school shootings that have been going on. There's been correlations about heavy spraying days on the times when some of these things are happening in riots. Well, we're guinea pigs, and we can be experimented with, and some of the chemicals coming down, like lithium and other elements, can alter a person's behavioral actions, make them either really calm and placid, or they can make them very angry and want to kill somebody. So I'm telling you that this is serious stuff, and we need to take action. We need to band together. We need to spread the word of what's going on. And, we don't need to be inhaling arsenics and all these other poisons, excess metals, copper, aluminum, the synergistic ones that go together like copper and aluminum. We retain lower sulfate levels. Aluminum and copper sulfate antagonists, high copper and low sulfate, are a prominent cause of many physical and mental health conditions, including Alzheimer's disease. So, I mean, it just goes, and there's also a correlation with men having problems with getting erections because of the lithium that is being exposed into the air. So, I mean, it not only gives them lethargy, fatigue, muscle pain, it can give them erectile dysfunction disorders. So, I mean, there's just numerous things, and it's all documented, and I am not making this stuff up. It's all documented. So you talk to the scientists and keep up with the programs and find out what I'm talking about is very true. I mean, they're trying to control us, giving us artificial birth control and all this stuff, and depopulation is the agenda. Look up Agenda 21 and start from there, and look at some of these YouTube videos, like what in the world are they spraying, or why in the world are they spraying, if you don't know what I'm talking about. But maybe I can get somebody to listen to me and be active and look up maybe Ann Fillmore. Her last name is Fillmore, and she was on a program I watched. I heard it on a radio program this morning, and it actually was kind of amazing what these correlations are that she has come across just by being in touch with people on Facebook and hearing about what's going on with their health system, their health situations, each in different areas all around the globe. It's all over. I mean, we know that these things are the end times. Look at Dane Wigington, another one, Wigington, Wigington. This is Dane is his first name, Dane. And look up some of those YouTube videos that he has to talk about. The scientists will tell you all this stuff, and they'll explain it maybe a lot better than I can. But I just hope that somebody can understand me and get something out of this what I'm trying to tell people. It's madness. It's a crime against humanity. And they're fooling the public. They're making Chembos, beautiful colors in the sky. And people are going, oh, this is gorgeous. Look what God painted today. Not realizing God did not have anything to do with that. That's man-made. It's stuff it's altering your mind. It's mind control. The elitists are doing this. Look at Alex Jones, for example. He's on YouTube also, and he might give you a piece of documentation on some of these topics that I'm trying to talk about and explain. I hope that you listen and get something out of this. I'm going to post this on YouTube. It's Nicole Lee, Health, Beauty, and More. Take care.